Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hello, it is Tuesday. It is June 28th.
And we're going to have the latest on the forecast and a traffic update. But right now we are going to begin with the deadly migrant situation that we've been covering since yesterday evening. It
is now San Antonio's deadliest case of human smuggling, and it's taken an even deadlier toll.
We have confirmed 2 more people have died, bringing the total to 50. And that's according to the president of Mexico. Many more are still in the hospital.
We begin our team coverage with a live report from Katrina Weber out at the scene near Quintana Road in Casson. Katrina, good morning. What is happening there now?
Well, honestly, not a whole lot has been happening. We have seen police here on both ends of the street seemingly just keeping watch over the area. Now, we have another one coming in right now. Police told us earlier that they plan to search this area just in case there are any more people still out here, but we haven't seen any signs of a search going on. Also, we no longer see that big rig, the scene of the crime. That was towed away just a few hours ago. And our video shows that 18-wheeler, what became a stifling coffin for dozens of people. San Antonio police discovered the situation after getting a call around 6 last night about someone inside the truck crying for help. Based on what first responders say, there were bodies stacked inside the back of that big rig, which had no air conditioning and no water. We have word that 50 people are now confirmed dead, more than a dozen others still at the hospital. Investigators believe all of them were victims in a failed human smuggling operation. The police told us last night they also had 3 people in custody, but it was unclear what role they played in all of this. Well, federal agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security, have taken over this investigation. SAPD says that any further updates will have to come from the feds. And here for an update on the people still in the hospital as well as those newly confirmed dead is our Tiffany Huertas. Tiffany, what have you learned?
Katrina, a spokesperson for Baptist Health System, says 2 of the 5 people that were transported to Baptist Medical Center in downtown have died. San Antonio Fire Chief Charles Hood says everyone that was transported to different hospitals suffered heat-related injuries. Now 16 people were helped out of that trailer by first responders. 12 adults and 4 minors were taken to area hospitals. 5 people were taken to Baptist Medical Center in downtown. 2 died. The others remain in critical condition. 2 adults were taken to Texas Vista Medical Center, a 26-year-old woman and 32-year-old man, both in critical but stable condition. 3 people were taken to Methodist Hospital Metropolitan, their conditions unknown. Now 2 were taken to University Hospital. A 23-year-old woman is in serious condition and a boy is in critical condition. Chief Hood says 10 medic units were used to transport the survivors. He describes what they saw inside the tractor trailer.
The patients that we saw were hot to the touch. They were suffering from heat stroke, heat exhaustion, no signs of water in the vehicle. It was a refrigerated tractor trailer, but there was no visible working AC unit on that rig.
The Mexican Secretary of External Relations tweeted this morning that 50 people died, 22 Mexicans, 7 Guatemalans, and 2 Hondurans. Now, the Mexican official says this is an enormous tragedy and they are mourning. Mark, Stephanie.
All right, thank you very much, Tiffany Huertas live, Katrina Weber as well. Leaders in the religious community are calling on people in San Antonio and South Texas to unite in prayers and support.
Catholic Charities is helping the survivors of this case just more than a month after Uvalde. RJ Marcus tells us about those efforts.
Yeah, good morning, Mark and Stephanie. We've been out here throughout the morning, and a big part of this is going to be spiritual relief for anyone that is grieving after just another horrible case in our area. This morning, the San Antonio Archdiocese and the Franciscan priests are asking for prayers. There will also be much needed support for the first responders and those involved in the investigation who were first on the scene for this horrible incident. Now, one of those organizations is Catholic Charities. They're already offering support and guidance after what happened in Uvalde. The organization CEO Antonio Fernandez said they are now working to help survivors, and unfortunately they see many cases like this with migrants doing anything to cross the border into Texas.
It's a difficult journey. Catholic Charities provides help to thousands of people every week, and we see them with nothing, and they come and they lose so much. So I admire what they are doing. I admire the fact that they need to do this, and it's sad for me that they cannot stay in their own countries. but it's not a beautiful way.
And San Antonio Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Siller issued a statement and tweet that read in part, "We pray for the souls of the people who died in such a cruel, inhuman manner, and also keep in prayer the survivors as well as their families and all of the first responders who assisted and saved lives and must now carry with them the memories of this scene of carnage." And as we've been reporting over the past hour or so, this death toll continues to rise. So spiritual leaders in the community saying that anyone in need of counseling, anyone in need of someone to talk to, whether it be just to talk about their grief, anything, any topic is available. You can go check out the Ecumenical Center. That number is 210-616-0885. Again, 210-616-0885, and that is available for counseling. Reporting from the Southwest Side, I'm RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
RJ, thank you. Of course, this is still a developing story, and we are going to be learning more as the day goes on.
We're going to bring you the latest on air and online, but for now, let's go ahead and take a look outside with live cam. 79 degrees. We're in the mid 70s and slowly climbing up, but I'm excited that it won't be triple digits today.
No triple digits. Yesterday we did get up to 101, but you see the cloud cover there. There's a lot of clouds, and that should keep temperatures down. It's also kind of keeping showers and storms at bay, at least for the moment. We're going to look at the radar here. There's not a lot going on. We should see some more showers, some more downpours popping up today. I don't think it'll be as widespread as yesterday. And I know yesterday it was a frustrating day for a lot of us. We didn't get the rain we wanted here in San Antonio. It was all around us. 74 Kerrville, 78 New Braunfels, 77 in Uvalde, 83 right now in Pleasanton, and here locally right around 80 degrees or so. Again, it will not be as hot today. Here's what's ahead. We're looking at another shot at rain today, about a 30 to 40% chance. It will be cooler, as we said. Tomorrow, some coastal showers. We'll be watching what's going on there in the Gulf of Mexico with that potential tropical system. And then heat returns this weekend. We're talking upper 90s in the forecast. As far as rain chances go today, again, about a 30 to 40% shot. Grab the umbrella just in case if one of those downpours pops up around where you are. We're going to take a look at some of the rainfall totals from yesterday, too. Again, it was all around us, just not here. That's coming up here in a bit. Let's get over to Steven now and talk traffic. How are things looking out there?
I would say within the last hour or so, a lot of these problems we spotted, Justin, have cleared out. Let's go ahead and get a wide look at TransGuide and show you what you can expect for your commute at this hour. 37 at Hackberry looks nice and smooth in that direction. 37 at Carolina, not too bad over there. However, we all know that there were some big issues out at 35 over on the northeast side here at Live Oak. Now, I-35 southbound near Loop 1604, there was a pretty serious crash by the Forum that caused somewhat of a slowdown, a pretty significant slowdown, I should say, in those southbound lanes. We were suggesting some alternative routes, but looks like you won't need that anymore because we are seeing more green than anything. Quick drive over to the opposite side of town over here off Loop 410 northbound at Marbach Road. We did have a crash also reported there, but that's not causing any issues, so we're not too concerned about it. One more drive up here to the northwest side, Loop 1604 westbound at Shanefield Road. Looks like that crash is cleared as well. Let's get that wide look at the metro area. No other problems to report, just a lot of those active construction spots, so make sure that you give those crews plenty of room and make sure you check your vehicles as well before you get out on the roadways. Looks like we may have encountered a stall out there from TransGuide, but elsewhere looking pretty fine so far. Mark, Steph.
Thank you, Stephen.
And we have some other big headlines this morning, so let's look at today's 9 at 9.
The Congressional Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol insurrection will hold another public hearing this afternoon. Sources say Cassidy Hutchinson, an aide to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, is expected to testify. Yesterday, the committee said it will present recently obtained evidence and receive witness testimony today. The hearing is expected to begin around noon, and we will bring it to you on air when it begins.
According to CNN, so far 200 rioters have received sentences for their role in the Capitol attack. Out of 830 defendants, 319 have pleaded guilty and 93 rioters have received jail time. And as part of a plea agreement with the government, some of the convicted rioters have agreed to pay onto the almost $3 million worth of damage to the Capitol.
Federal investigators will arrive today in Missouri to determine what went wrong after a train hit a dump truck at a railroad crossing, causing it to derail 8 passenger cars, turning nearly an entire train on its side. At least 3 people were killed and more than 40 had to be hospitalized.
New fallout from the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. More than a dozen states had so-called trigger laws in place to immediately ban or limit abortion when Roe was overturned. But now judges in 2 of those states, Utah and Louisiana, have temporarily blocked the trigger law from taking effect, saying the states are unprepared for such a significant change.
Pharmacies nationwide are placing limits on the emergency contraceptive known as Plan B. The over-the-counter drug is different than the abortion pill prescribed by doctors. CVS, Walmart, and Rite Aid are capping the number of Plan B pills a customer can buy as demand surges in the wake of the Supreme Court's ruling.
Staffing shortages and bad weather making for a bad Monday for air travelers. It comes after a chaotic travel weekend. Airlines had to cancel more than 700 flights and delayed hundreds more yesterday. This morning, airlines have already had to cancel more than 400 flights, according to FlightAware.
The CDC investigating dozens of suspected cases of monkeypox across the country. It's received reports of 244 probable or confirmed cases of monkeypox as of yesterday. The cases reported in 26 states and Washington, D.C. Out of all the reports, the CDC says only 2 of the cases were non-U.S. residents.
The FDA Advisory Committee is set to meet today to discuss possible strain-specific COVID-19 vaccines. The FDA has called this a transition year that could change how we view the COVID vaccine. Health officials anticipate coronavirus vaccines will need to be administered annually, similar to the flu shot.
Stock markets may be ready to bounce back a bit this morning after a wobbly trading day yesterday ended with stocks down. The Nasdaq dropped 0.7%. The S&P closed off 0.3%, and the Dow slipped 0.2%. Overnight futures pointing to a higher open. And that's today's 9 at 9.
And time now, 9:09 and 79 degrees for now.
Well, you might have seen the story Justin and Sarah Spivey did a couple of weeks ago when they got to go inside the state's longest known cave. Later on in the newscast, going to talk more about this cool experience.
Plus, a local cancer survivor sharing her story and telling us who helped her along the way at the hospital and her message to others facing something similar. We're going to be right back.
Well, for a little while this morning, we had a beautiful sunrise out there.
Yes, it was beautiful, and I can't complain. The cloud cover's been nice, even though I didn't get rain, but you got some rain, right?
A little bit of rain, and I saw your post yesterday said close enough to smell the rain, Justin Horn.
I got a total of 7 drops in my house.
Congratulations.
I counted. It was a frustrating day, I know. And you look at the rainfall map from yesterday, you can really see it was all around us. New Braunfels, Kerrville, Bernie, all picking up rain. Gonzales, Pearsall, down to Carrizo Springs. Now, these weren't huge amounts, but we'll welcome any rain at this point. And you can kind of see a corridor right there, Medina County into Bexar County, that just didn't get any rain at all. The rain kind of set up around us where the outflow boundaries moved south, and then we had rain to the north. And a little closer look here at Bexar County, just to trace to the airport, Stinson got nothing. Timberwood Park there on the north side of Bexar County did pick up about 0.6 of an inch. Canyon Lake nearly half an inch. And the big winner yesterday, San Marcos over 2 inches up I-35. So there was some rain to be had. We just didn't get it here over the city of San Antonio. As we look at the radar right now, notice we've got a little shower trying to set up there in Kendall County. I think over the next couple of hours, you may see a few more showers develop. Like yesterday, it'll be hit or miss, and I think, in fact, today it'll be a little less in the way of coverage. But there is a chance here today, so if you didn't get any yesterday, we'll hold out hope for today. And here's a look at the forecast. We're going to fast forward to noon. Shows a couple of isolated showers starting to pop up. Then as we head towards 2, 3 o'clock, this model is pretty optimistic at seeing rain. I don't know that it'll be this widespread, but the idea that we get some isolated showers and storms certainly there. 40% chance, I think, as we head into the afternoon. By 5 o'clock, by the evening commute, a lot of this is probably starting to push southwest, and then by 7, 8 o'clock, rain's done, and we're just left with some cloud cover. And as we look at the KSAT 12-hour forecast here, we're going to put in a 20 to 30% chance next couple of hours. We'll bump that up to a 40% chance for at least for a brief period during the afternoon hours, and then back down to a 20% chance by 7, 8 o'clock. Notice the temperatures too. We're only talking low 90s today. 92 will be our high temperature, so a lot better than yesterday when you consider just how hot it was. At least midday yesterday, we were already close to 100. Satellite picture shows we do have a lot of leftover clouds. That tends to keep the showers and storms at bay, but once those clear out some, we should see again the potential for a little bit more shower and storm activity. Starting to see some clouds develop there north of Victoria. And temperatures at this hour: 77 in Helotes, 81 Port SA, 73 Bulverde, 78 right now in New Braunfels. Dew points are up. It's somewhat sticky out there. We'll see dew points in the 60s today. And there's the scene outside, mostly cloudy, 79. Northeasterly winds at 7, and that dew point at 65. Meantime, out in the tropics, we do have Tropical Depression 2 and another little system out of here that has some chances of development. These are still way out there. We've got some time to watch this, and most of this action stays well to our south. Of course, what we've been watching is this little area in the Gulf of Mexico. Hurricane Center is still giving us a 30% chance of development. And there's still some questions as to whether or not it will develop before it moves on shore. But the bottom line, does throw some moisture in our direction. This is tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Notice we've got a few showers across some of our southeastern counties. And then a lot of this moisture stays generally east of us. Thursday morning, showers along the coast, and then some showers and some good downpours, some tropical downpours east of San Antonio on Thursday. Here in town, we'll keep it at a 20% chance of rain, but I think any really significant rain is probably going to be to our east around the Houston area. So 40% chance today, 20% chance tomorrow, 96, 93 on Thursday with a bit more cloud cover, 20% chance Friday and Saturday for some pop-up showers. Other than that, the heat cranks up as we head towards the 4th of July, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Well, June is National Cancer Survivor Month. It's time to celebrate and honor those who have beaten cancer, are in treatment, or have recently been diagnosed.
A local woman shares her story with Tiffany Huertas and how a local hospital program played a big part in her journey.
My symptoms were just being really tired, exhausted. I was also getting pale.
Jessica Relucio also started noticing red dots on her skin, so she quickly went to Methodist Hospital's emergency room.
They took some blood draw, told me it was acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and I kind of was prepared for it already because it was the same symptoms I had the first time. It's pretty much just the cancer in my blood.
This was the second time she was diagnosed with this cancer. Jessica says Methodist Hospital nurse navigators helped her during this difficult time.
They provide a lot of resources. There's a nurse coordinator who meets with you as soon as you check in and get diagnosed on the 8th floor, and they're just really nice and willing to help you out, email you, text you, and they're always available.
Stephen Mazar is one of the nurse navigators who helped Jessica in her journey.
And she was quite fearful and anxious. It's come back. Is it stronger? Is it worse? So again, just kind of meeting with her. Okay, you've been through this before. You can beat this again.
Stephen helps patients in many ways.
I specifically work with people who have blood cancers. And so I usually tell people from the time of diagnosis and to the time that treatment's not needed or to the time they go to transplant, I help them along their journey.
Jessica received a stem cell transplant and has completed treatment. As a cancer survivor, Jessica hopes her story will help someone.
I just stay positive all the time and just try and stay as active as possible.
She says for anyone going through something similar,
breathe and relax and just lean on your family and friends.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
919, 79 degrees.
And coming up next, David Sears will join us with a look at some of our other morning headlines, including the discovery of the world's deepest shipwreck. He's going to explain when we come back.
922 in your morning headlines, another Supreme Court decision that will have an impact on prayer. And WNBA star Brittany Griner is about to get her day in a Russian court.
And celebrating Independence Day could cost you a little more money this year in a deep sea discovery that goes back 80 years.
80 years.
Yeah. So David Sears is here to explain all of that.
Good morning.
If you are a World War II history buff, you're going to like this one.
Can't wait to hear.
This is a very, very interesting discovery. We'll have that in just a second. But first, let's start with this. While so much attention is being paid to the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, another Supreme Court decision came down yesterday that has a huge impact on the freedom of religion. The court ruled in favor of a high school football coach who got fired for praying on the 50-yard line after games. The justices ruled the school violated Coach Joe Kennedy's First Amendment rights in a 6-3 decision. The majority said the coach praying after a game at midfield amounted to private speech protected by the First Amendment. Justice Neil Gorsuch wrote the decision based on, quote, mutual respect and tolerance, not censorship and suppression for religious and non-religious views alike. Justice Sotomayor wrote the dissenting opinion saying the decision, quote, elevates one's individual interest in personal religious exercise in the exact time and place of that individual's choosing over society's interest in protecting the separation between church and state. Coach Kennedy said he just wants to get back on the field with his team. WNBA star Brittany Griner will be going to trial this Friday. She has been in a Russian prison for more than 6 months, and according to her lawyer, she'll stay right there while this trial goes on. Griner was arrested at an airport after Russian authorities claimed that they found cannabis oil in her luggage. She had been accused of smuggling a significant amount of narcotic substance. If found guilty, she could be looking at up to 10 years in prison. The U.S. State Department says she has been wrongfully detained. Those who want her set free believe this is just retaliation for the U.S. supporting Ukraine in that Ukrainian-Russian war. And then if you have already been shopping for your 4th of July cookout, you know those hamburgers and hot dogs are going to be a little more expensive this holiday season. The American Farm Bureau Federation released a new survey yesterday, and hold on to your wallet. They found that it's going to cost about 17% more on average this year. The biggest price jump, beef, but chicken, lemonade, and potato salad has also gone up. However, you can grab a bag of chips, some cheese, and some strawberries. They're going down in price. Of course, the inflated prices are because of the supply chain issues, inflation, and the war. Now we're going to take you deep, and I do mean deep, into the Pacific Ocean. You are looking at the deepest shipwreck. That is the World War II ship, the USS destroyer Escort Samuel B. Roberts. It is on the bottom of the Philippine Sea, 22,000 feet down, almost twice as deep as the Titanic. The Sammy B was sunk in 1944 after going up against 3 Japanese battleships. The ship was discovered by Victor Vescovo. He's a renowned ocean explorer. He said it was an honor to find the ship and to retell her story of heroism and duty. Look at that thing right there. That's amazing. 22,000 feet. The bottom of the ocean.
Unbelievable. Yeah, they said that ship was outgunned from the very beginning of that battle, but fought gallantly.
I'm thinking movie.
Right?
Or at least documentary.
Yeah.
Now that they've got video of it.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure there's some pictures somewhere.
There's more to that story to be told.
I bet.
Thank you very much, David Sears. Right now, 9:26, about 80 degrees.
And there's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9, including some new restrictions put in place at Canyon Lake to prevent overcrowding and pollution.
And we're going behind the story that meteorologist Justin Horn and Sarah Spivey did about the longest known cave here in Texas. They're going to join us along with photojournalist Adam Higgins to talk about this cool assignment. Right now, we want to get our top story this morning as new details continue to come in.
The death toll has now risen to 50 migrants after enduring sweltering conditions in the back of a big rig. Now, they were found in a tractor trailer on the southwest side road. 16 people were taken to the hospital to be treated for heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Rescue crews say they were hot to the touch and too weak to move on their own.
San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says the people are likely part of a migrant smuggling attempt, but it's still unclear where many of them are from. People in the area keep telling us they knew something was wrong when they heard the helicopters flying overhead.
I mean, these people come to San Antonio to, to come and work. I mean, they really don't do nothing to nobody, That's my concern, but how did they bring these people at least and just leave them there?
That's very sad that they had to go like that. They were just looking for a better life, and for them to just lose their life just to try to get over here and just try to make a better life for them and their kids.
Really? Okay.
This is being called the largest mass casualty event in San Antonio history.
In other news, San Antonio police have arrested a suspect they say may have been planning to commit a mass shooting at a local Amazon warehouse. The facility is located on the southeast side near Goliad Road.
And according to police affidavit, the suspect, Rodolfo Aceves, told someone during a fire alarm last Friday that it would be a good idea to pull a fire alarm and have all employees exit the building and commit a mass shooting. In the affidavit, Aceves also says that the shooter of the Uvalde school shooting was an idol.
Now, the affidavit also says the suspect's father told police that he had recently purchased an AR platform rifle and that his family was scared that Aceves had a weapon because of past behavior and mental health illness. Aceves now charged with making a terroristic threat. He's in jail on a $50,000 bond.
And taking a look outside with a live cam, we're now at 80 degrees, and some people in our area hoping for some rain here and there.
There's one more shot today. I think of, some decent downpours. And we look outside, there's still some cloud cover out there. These clouds sticking around, that'll keep temperatures down, but it also tends to prevent showers and storms from bubbling up. So we may have to wait a little bit longer before we see more action on the radar. The radar does reveal a couple of showers up there in Kendall County, up near Comfort. We've seen one pop up, but as quickly as it popped up, it went away. Other than that, there's not much there on the radar at this hour. Pollen count is in. Molds jumped up into the moderate levels at 9:30 today, likely because of yesterday's rainfall. And as we look at the KSAT 12-hour forecast, we're going to bring the rain chances up slowly through the lunch hour, 30%, 86 at noontime, 88 1 o'clock, 40% chance rain 2, 3, 4 o'clock as temperatures make their way into the low 90s. We're only going with 92 today, though, so that's an improvement from yesterday. And the rain chances fall off this evening once we lose the daytime heating, and we'll see less in the way of rain chances coming up next couple of days, guys.
Thank you very much, Justin. Well, Honey Creek Cave is the longest known cave in Texas, just up the road a little bit from San Antonio in Comal County.
Much of the cave contains pristine water from the Trinity Aquifer. Recently, land on top of the cave was placed under a conservation easement, preventing further development and preserving the land and water around the cave.
So, meteorologist Justin Horn and Sarah Spivey, along with photojournalist Adam Higgins, were given access to the cave, the only known entrance of which is on private property. Take a look.
We are at Honey Creek Spring Ranch, pristine land that has just been protected by a conservation easement. The land here looks exactly as it did 200 years ago.
It's been in this family 5 to 6 generations, and it really is untouched, and it's beautiful.
It's still my favorite cave, and it's still impressive to me even after all these trips. It's still an incredibly impressive cave.
So this is our first time kind of going into something like this. Advice?
Keep your head above water where you can. Be careful, go slow. It's a 100% success record. Everybody's gone in, has come out. Okay, so we expect to continue that record today.
I don't remember exactly how many times I've been in here, but it's well over 200. This section that we're doing today is one of the most decorated parts of the cave. It's 15, 20 feet wide, over your head deep for most all of it. And there's formations that come down from the ceiling into the water, so you have to weave your way through them in a lot of places.
When you get up here, push your floaty stuff through, and then I'll give you my hand and I'll pull you through.
You did it.
There are a number of species in the cave, some aquatic, some terrestrial. There are bats in the cave. It's the longest cave in the state. It's a major discharge point for the Trinity Aquifer.
So Justin and I are 1,500 feet into Honey Creek Cave, about 80 feet below the surface.
And we've made it to this fascinating feat, to this waterfall here. If you were to keep going, the cave would go on for another 20 miles.
I've enjoyed being able to explore it all these years, and I hope that future generations of cavers can also enjoy it and continue to add to its survey.
Sarah, what'd you think?
Amazing. And the water was so cool. It was beautiful to actually be in the aquifer.
We recognized how important this piece of property was. If they had decided to do the other thing, to sell it, the only people that could have afforded it would have been developers, and we might have houses right up on top of that spring, which would have diminished everything about it.
They have been some of the most incredible owners of any cave in this country.
There could hardly be anything more important to the humans living in this area than to protect our water supply. And by protecting the land over the aquifer, you're protecting the water. And while you're doing that, you're also protecting wildlife.
Well, someone was excited about the aquifer.
I was. It was pretty cool to be in the aquifer.
Awesome. We love that. Well, Justin, Sarah, Adam, they join us now. And exactly what is the conservation easement?
So think of it, it's the land over top of that aquifer is going to be preserved forever. That's kind of the bottom line. So the folks still get to own the land. It's just that they can't develop it. They can't put anything on it, and it keeps the aquifer safe. And so basically, as they say, it keeps the aquifer safe in perpetuity.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. So y'all said the entrance to this cave is on private property. Tell us a little bit more about the group you're with and how you got access to that.
Yeah, so we were with a group of very experienced cavers. As was mentioned in that package, Kurt there, he has been exploring that cave since the 80s. And this group, along with Gary Schindel, they're a part of Bear Grotto, which is a group that does some cave exploration. And so we were in good hands there. We were also there with a really cool cave photographer. He got some cool pictures there. He was pretty into it too, so that was neat.
Yeah.
And you guys mentioned you saw a blind salamander, so tell us about the species and what else you saw down here.
Yeah.
Y'all know more about the blind salamander than I do.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, we didn't actually see it. I think John
got that video there.
Got a video of it, but they do. This is exactly the kind of habitat they live in.
Exactly, and we did get to see a golden-cheeked warbler too, which is another one of the species that is kind of only found in that certain area of the hill country. It was honestly, that land was like Garden of Eden-esque. We were hearing a babbling brook. We were hearing the chirping of the warbling of the golden warbler. And you just were amazed at the water quality there too. Yeah. And we were assured by the experienced cavers there that we weren't contaminating the water or anything like that. But that conservation easement is going to allow for this water to stay clean and pure for quite some time.
It's also 68 degrees, the water, so it's a little chilly.
A little chilly.
That's
Hence the wetsuits. Yes. Well, you are going to hear from Adam, and now's your chance if you're a big Adam fan. He is an experienced scuba diver. Yeah. So what were some of the unique challenges you guys faced on this shoot?
So the biggest thing I would say would be just light. If the light that we brought in was all the light that we had. At one point we turned off the lights and it was pitch black. You could see nothing. So shooting that, as far as with cameras, you need light for to be able to capture these images. So bringing in our own lights, that was probably the biggest challenge. Other than that, it was fun. It was very interesting, very unique.
Now we know it's long. Is it deep enough to go down with a regulator and a tank and all that stuff, or is it fairly shallow?
There are parts where you could definitely hit the bottom, but there's other parts where you couldn't feel the bottom. So it's probably, I think certain parts probably 8-9 feet deep potentially. Okay. So I mean, you probably could have, we didn't go down there with regulators and scuba gear, but it was definitely, very unique.
I have a question. I know that Steph's probably thinking too. Anybody here claustrophobic? Down there?
I gotta admit, there was a moment there where I told both Adam and Justin, I was like, guys, I'm getting a little claustrophobic. And
you're like, but I'm in the aquifer.
Yeah, but I'm in the aquifer. And the experienced cave divers, they said, just think big thoughts.
Yeah.
And it actually helped. So
she got through it quickly. It was that one part where you had to, they had to pull you through. So you had to go underwater for a small bit, but they pull you through and you come through the other side, so that it can be a little claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Could you do it?
Me? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I
get scared in a backyard swimming pool. I mean, this would be terrible for me. But the video was great, though.
Yeah.
And we were very thankful for the opportunity that the landowners provided us, that Gary and Kurt and John helped us get through the cave. Just a great way to see the land that is being preserved firsthand.
Well, we were happy to live vicariously through the three of you. So thank you for taking us there. A place we would not go on our own. Nor could we.
We're down to go back too. So.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, it was fun.
We'll have a part two.
Fantastic.
Right? Maybe.
Good. Yeah.
And I guess we probably all agree that it's probably good the access is controlled to this spot.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Preserve what's there.
All right, Adam, Sarah, Justin, thank you guys. Adam, especially for coming in.
Thank you.
I stay behind the camera for the most part. That's
Thank you for coming on camera for this one.
Yes,
for sure.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, thank you. Time right now is 9:40, Adam. 9:40, about 80 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
And when we come back, many people may be heading to the lake for the 4th of July holiday weekend, but there are some restrictions that you should know about if you're planning to go on Canyon Lake. We're going to explain after the break.
More Adam next week. 9:44, Canyon Lake officials taking steps to prevent overcrowding and pollution. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says large crowds have caused a concern for public safety and the environment.
RJ Marcus visited Canyon Lake yesterday to speak with officials ahead of what's expected to be a busy and crowded holiday weekend.
Every single time we've come, it's been more and more people. I was actually surprised, considering it's not even the weekend right now.
Yvette Tadea has been visiting Canyon Lake for years with her sons and says this is the most crowded she's seen the lake and park.
The worst part is just people are leaving their trash everywhere. So we usually try to pick up some as we go.
The same goes for Jennifer Lopez, who is a regular.
I try to pick it up as much as I can, but yeah, there is a little bit more trash because people just leave it there, or empty water bottles.
You can see it. And that's what Canyon Lake officials are trying to address before 4th of July.
Even that we had the trash can, some members of the police, they put it side by side.
U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Lake Manager Javier Ortiz showed us some areas where people are leaving behind large amounts of trash.
Unfortunately, some members of the public, they go down to the shoreline and leave all the trash behind.
And Canyon Lake officials tell us that they expect thousands of visitors here to the park and to the lake this 4th of July weekend, which will be one of the busiest of the summer. And in order to take on this trash problem, they want people to practice what they call leave no trace. And that basically means that you are picking up whatever you put out along the shoreline. Another concern is people parking illegally on the grass.
They start to damage the area and create environmental damage, and the grass doesn't grow up anymore.
Because of these concerns, Canyon Lake officials will now start to limit entry to the park when they reach capacity.
Basically close half of the gate and have our rangers just directing traffic for safety and security purposes down there.
Yvette welcomes the changes to keep the park safe and clean.
I really love that people can come experience something like this, but they're just being irresponsible with how they're leaving it.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, 80 degrees at San Antonio International Airport as we approach it is about 9:45.
Yes, and some people got rain. I mean, I got cloud cover, which was good enough, really.
Well, yeah, you know, that's a positive spin on it, and I like that. It was kind of frustrating the way the rain set up yesterday. There's no doubt about it. The good news is that cloud cover you mentioned, Steph, that we have over us right now is going to keep temperatures from racing upwards. If you remember yesterday, by noontime, we were closing in on 100. Today, we're sitting at 80, and I don't think we warm up that quickly, just thanks to the clouds that are out there right now. 79 at the airport, 81 Stinson, 81 Kelly, 77 at Randolph. Northeasterly winds still at about 7 miles per hour after yesterday's weak frontal boundary. And as we look at the radar, there's just not much there. We had a couple of showers try to pop up in Kendall County, but they've already flared back down, so nothing there. We've got just ground clutter here around San Antonio, so there's nothing to worry about at this hour. I do think as we get towards, say, noontime, a couple showers pop up, and then by, say, 2 o'clock, showing quite a bit, at least this model is. I don't know that we'll see this much, but some pop-up downpours certainly possible. We'll put in a 40% chance. And then by 5 o'clock, a lot of this is already starting to move southwest of the area, but still some pop-up showers for areas west of San Antonio. And then by this evening, the rain chances basically go away with the loss of daytime heating. And we're just left with partly cloudy skies. So the KSAT 12-hour forecast, 30% chance, noontime 86. We'll bring that up to a 40% chance by 2, 3, 4 o'clock. High temperatures today down from yesterday, 92, the forecast high, which sounds pretty nice at this point. And then just some small rain chances as we head into this evening. There's the satellite picture, and that's one problem that we're having is we have a lot of cloud debris from yesterday's showers to the north of us, kind of leftover cloud covers. That tends to keep showers and storms at bay. But I am starting to notice maybe some clouds developing here around New Braunfels, and that may eventually develop into some of those pop-up downpours. Temperature-wise, we're looking at 80 degrees in Helotes, 76 Bulverde, 77 in Seguin. More sun around Gonzales, 81 there, 73 Bernie Stage. And as we look at the big picture here across the state, some cooler weather. I mean, these numbers are much, much better than they have been. It's 76 in Abilene, 68 right now in Amarillo. And in general, it'll be a cooler day across the state of Texas. As far as rain goes, there's not a lot there. We have some showers up across the Red River. And then, of course, what's going on here in the Gulf. And this is a little spin. The Hurricane Center has been keeping an eye on this. They've upped the chances of this development to 30%. Still, it's not something we really need to worry too much about. It's not going to be a hurricane or anything like that. But this could make its way towards the Texas coast and throw some moisture in our direction. This is one computer model, but it does show some moisture maybe getting a little bit closer by Wednesday, mainly south and east of San Antonio. Then by Thursday morning, a few showers along the coast. And then Thursday noontime, still some showers closer to the coast. I think in general, the tropical moisture is going to stay east of San Antonio. Doesn't mean we couldn't see a few pop-up showers and storms. It just means the bulk of the moisture is going to be probably east around Houston. We'll keep an eye on things, but I think our best chance of rain probably today, and then just some pop-up stuff Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Temperatures mid-90s, and then by Sunday with more sun, we're popping up to 98 and then 99 for 4th of July. We'll keep our fingers crossed for some rain today. I know a lot of people missed out yesterday, at least around San Antonio, and we, as we say, we need it in the worst way, guys.
Thank you, Justin. For decades, a small area of San Antonio has been a meeting ground for the LGBTQ+ community. It's known as the Strip on Main Street. There are a number of bars and clubs frequented by thousands each weekend, but it hasn't always been as welcoming as it is today.
It came from decades of people being very intentional about claiming space in San Antonio.
KSAT explains how this area became the safe space for the LGBTQ+ community in their latest episode. If you missed it yesterday, you can watch it online at KSAT.com. Just click on the KSAT Explains section under the KSAT tab, KSAT Plus tab, rather.
And time now, 9:50 and 80 degrees. We'll be right back.
We want to let you know about some information that's just come into the KSAT newsroom. We've learned that the grandmother of the Uvalde shooting suspect has been released from the hospital. That is according to University Health.
They also updated us on a 10-year-old girl who was injured in the school shooting and being treated at University Hospital. They say she has been upgraded to good condition.
We're also continuing to follow the latest on the migrants found in that tractor trailer on the southwest side yesterday here in San Antonio. The death toll has risen to 50.
16 people were taken to the hospital to be treated for heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Rescue crews say they were hot to the touch and too weak to move on their own.
Police Chief William McManus says the people were likely part of a migrant smuggling attempt. The Mexican government reports this morning of the 50, 22 are Mexican natives, 7 Guatemalan, 2 are Honduran, 19 so far of unknown nationality. We'll continue to follow this story throughout the day and look for the latest on KSAT.com. Don't forget, happening this afternoon, the Congressional Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol insurrection will hold another public hearing. It's expected to begin right around noon. Comes as a surprise to many as officials expected the committee to take a break ahead of the upcoming July 4th holiday weekend.
Sources say Cassidy Hutchinson, an aide to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, is expected to testify. Hutchinson is considered one of the committee's most consequential witnesses due to her proximity to former President Trump's then White House Chief of Staff.
This will be the committee's 6th hearing so far this month. As soon as the hearing begins, we will bring it to you on air and online. Justin.
And temperatures are hovering right around 80 degrees. We've still got a lot of cloud cover out there, so we're not seeing a lot of rain at the moment. But as we get later into the afternoon, we do expect we'll get some pop-up showers and storms. Not as widespread as yesterday, but about a 40% chance. We've got another opportunity here, and then some tropical moisture makes its way into Texas, but at this point it looks like it's going to stay mainly east of us, keeping our rain chances on the low end Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Temperatures still warm, but not as warm as it could be. They do crank back up, though, those temperatures by Sunday and into Monday.
But a couple good news on a couple different fronts. Cooler afternoon temperatures overall.
Yes.
And a shot at rain.
Another chance, 40% chance this afternoon.
Outstanding.
Yeah, we'll take it. Thank you, Justin. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Have a good afternoon.